What's up, you guys? It's your boy Philip Turner here, and today what I want to share with you is how to unlock your confidence with a very simple and fast mindset shift. This is something that I actually learned when I was learning how to go out and meet and talk to girls. I learned this from Julian Blanc. He has an amazing channel on YouTube, and I definitely would recommend you guys going and checking him out. And this is something that I learned from him because it helped me understand like where I could actually place my confidence in an area that was actually consistent and that always existed, and not just something that was a situational based paradigm. So this actually comes from the idea that we exist within three different paradigms. This is the having paradigm, which is like you have to have more stuff. If you have more money, then you can finally be confident. If you have the Lambo, you can finally be confident. If you have like a lot of approval from other people, then you can be confident. And so it's just like you're always trying to get the thing. But the problem with trying to place confidence in having something, having a certain look, having a certain type of clothing or something like that, is that you could always lose those things. So if you get the muscles, if you get the money, then you can finally have the chance to be confident, but you're placing it on something that can always be lost. And there's always someone who's going to have bigger muscles than you. There's always someone who's going to be better looking than you. There's always going to be someone who's going to have more money than you. So if you place your confidence in those things, you're still always going to be comparing yourself to other people. So that is something that is very, very temporary and isn't actual true confidence. That's just confidence that's based on the situation of having something. The other paradigm is the doing paradigm. So it's like, oh, well, I'm going to the gym a lot, so I am allowed to be confident. Or I am making, you could either have confidence from having money, or you can have confidence from making money. It's like, well, I'm making a lot more money than all these other people, so now I can be confident. Or I'm hustling harder, or I'm waking up earlier. Like anything that you're doing in which you're comparing yourself to someone else is a misplaced confidence, because what if you can't do those things? Like, do you just not have confidence anymore because you can't do something or because you can't perform in a certain way? And that is a very terrible way of a terrible place that you would place your confidence in. So there's the having paradigm, the doing paradigm, and then the being paradigm. And now the being paradigm is just being confident. You have your reasons to be confident just because of who you are. It's not based in any sort of situation. That we would call that situational confidence. But this is actually, in the being paradigm, this is actually core confidence. This is confidence that actually comes from your core just because you exist, just because you have value, just because you know your worth, and you have the opportunity to be confident. And that is something that no one else could ever take away from you. And because you are one of one, and you're not one of many who's always trying to compete in these areas, you are actually just being you. Pick something that you really, really love about yourself and just really own that. And then you have all the opportunity in the world to be as confident as you want. And so those are the three paradigms in which you could be placing your confidence. And Julian kind of explains it as a balloon, that this balloon is you. So if you just keep trying to make the balloon bigger, then you think that you're going to be confident. So the balloon is actually tethered down by things like fear, by things like doubt, by things like disbelief in yourself. And you're trying to make the balloon go up. You want your confidence to go up. So you're trying to make the balloon bigger. And if it gets big enough, that it's finally going to actually raise. But the problem is that it's tethered down. So you can't actually get more confidence. You cannot get a confidence boost because the balloon is not actually going up. So you try to do more things. So you get bigger muscles, make more money, get a Lambo, get a bigger house, hustle more, grind more, all these things to try to make the balloon expand, make it go up. But because you have fear, because you have doubt, because you have disbelief in yourself, maybe you think that you need other people to like you. Or maybe you think that if people don't like you, that you're not going to be able to handle it. And those types of fears and those types of doubts and the disbelief that you have in yourself is actually what is preventing you from being confident in the first place. The thing is like really, really good advice is just to not care what other people think of you. But yeah, on the conscious level, you actually know that, because if if someone doesn't like you, that doesn't actually mean that anything bad's going to happen. And you consciously know that. But on an unconscious level, your unconscious mind believes that you are not safe unless other people like you. So that is a core belief that you might have that's actually preventing you from being confident, is like not knowing that you actually have all the capability in the world to handle not being liked by other people. And so because of those fears and because of those, the fear of not having approval or not having someone else's validation exists, then your confidence is actually always going to remain on this level. So you need to let those things go and cut those tethers, let go of fear, and start understanding what it is about yourself that actually is amazing, and not place those conditions and those limitations that you need to have something or do something in order to let your confidence actually rise up. So I hope that was something that was really helpful for you guys. This was, like, for me, it made the biggest difference, because I was like, oh my God, like, I don't have to do all this shit. I don't have to spend all this energy and do all this work to actually be confident. I can actually just pick something that I really, really love about myself and really just make that my brand and double down on that, triple down on that. And as long as I thought it was really cool, people's mirror neurons actually also tend to think that it's really cool. And then when you get enough reference experiences, when you start approaching people, when you start meeting people, when you start networking, maybe you start doing videos, you start to realize that you're actually always safe in those situations and you're actually not going to be harmed. So then your confidence just grows, because now you're trusting in yourself, you're trusting in the process, you're trusting in God, you're trusting in other people, and that everything's going to work out for the best. So I hope that was something that was really, really helpful for you guys. And be sure to click the like and subscribe button, and I will see you guys on the next video.